Really unfortunate spot for Vanessa. I think on 12 bigs, blind versus blind, this a6 is probably just going to go away all in. It's going to be an easy call for Sully Mess. And it's just like a little bit too good and a little too awkward to play post. Yeah, she shoves. Sully's calling. Top sits. Oh my God, Vanessa. Oh, whoa! What a freaking run out, man. Gets dealt the ace. Feels like it's the nuts. Gotta shove. Snap calls the king. It's the nuts. Gotta call. Flops top sizzle. Turns the strizzle. And rivers the full hizzle. Jizzle jizzle. Hey, it's Evan Jarvis. I just wanted to let you know that I'm giving away 10 free tickets to my Sunday home game via this video. To enter the giveaway, leave a comment with your favorite hand from the review and include your ACR username in the comment. And to increase your odds of winning, like this video for good luck. If you don't have an ACR account, you can make an account for free at grips.com/ACR or by using the link in the video description. I hope you enjoyed the review. Let's get stacking. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of $1 Million Monday, the day of the week where we review the highest stakes tournaments on America's Cardroom, those $1 million prize pool tournaments. And today we have a very special treat for you because the $265 buy-in with satellites running as low as $2 $1 million Sunday 1 mil guaranteed is back. So we're going to be going through every single hand here. I'm going to be sharing my thoughts, and we're all going to be learning together. It's a great opportunity to get some insights from some of the best players in the world playing one of the best tournaments in the world for some of the highest stakes in the world. And just before we get into the actual hands, I just want to introduce our players. So I shark scoped everybody, and starting with Niffler, they are blocked from shark scope, but we know who that is. That is former ACR pro Vanessa Kade, high stakes tournament crusher. You've seen her around. She definitely knows how to take care of business, winning over $1 million in one tournament before. I Got Milk Baby is our lowest ranked player, a 71 on Shark Scope, with an average buy-in of about $200. Then we get into the real crushers. Sully Mess is up over $250,000 with an ability of $9,600 average buy-in, absolute crusher. Then we make our way over to Samler, who is up $175,000, average buy-in of $500. Shark scope rating 96. This guy is no stranger to high stakes poker. He's definitely going to be playing with no fear. Then we have the one and only Justice Peanut, who is up over $1.2 million on America's Cardroom, an average buy-in of 382. Think you've seen him around the Venom. You've seen him around the high stakes streets. Shark scope rating of 100. This dude knows how to crush it. Next we have Laveo Paunopia. Average buy-in 141, up $140,000, ability 96. Then we have Razor Ramona, average buy-in 138, total profits 100K, shark scope rating 96. And then we have Hollow Man, who is up 20K, shark scope rating 90, average stakes 68. So the players we're gonna probably learn the most from: Niffler, Justice Peanut, Sully Mess, Samler, Laveo, Razor Ramon, in that order. Let's get into the hands. It's time. I can play. Okay, man. Sully Mess with the call here. I understand. I Got Milk Baby shoving the king 7 there. Blind versus blind. Going to be the best hand some of the time. He put in a nice chunk of chips. It was half of Sully Mess's stack. And here we see. No one wants to call with ace rag. But in a blind versus blind situation where you know your opponent's going to be doing the king queens, the king jacks, the king tens, or the king sevens of the world in this case, you just don't fold your ace. And Sully Mess correctly calls with the ace, holds in the all-in, picks up 30 bigs, 60 million in chips. And I Got Milk Baby is going to be our 8th place finisher, taking home $13,827.05. Let's get a round of applause. And now Sully Mess with that pot, up to 2nd place. Everyone else very happy. $11,000 pay jump. They're all guaranteed. All our remaining players guaranteed $24,382. And here we see Vanessa. She's not afraid to take the opens. Opening the ace 6 suited, not calling the raises with ace jack suited, not calling the raises with ace 10 suited, because that's going to be a higher spot, more variant spot. She's taking more volatility to her stack when she knows she has a customer. She's calling, needing to either hit the flop or try to outplay her opponent. Whereas folded 2, just raising into some random hands, ace 6, the water's fine. So it's really not just about the cards you're dealt, but it's also really important to look at the situation that you're in. What is the action ahead? How many players are left behind me? What's my stack size? What are the payout implications? Things like this all should be considered before every hand, before you decide whether or not to enter a pot. I'm very curious to see. I think we should see a 3-bet from Leveo here. They do cover. It's first place versus second place. Just calls. Doesn't want, I guess, doesn't want to 3-bet and get 4-bet, but and they can take the pot away post flop as well. But wouldn't have been surprised if we saw a 3-bet from Leveo there, given that they're the chip leader. They'd be putting pressure on second place. It's maximum ICM pressure. But I guess Leveo is just going to, I mean, so far from what we've seen, they're just playing kind of solidly. And now Justice Peanut, I think on 13, this is just going to be a shove. With Razor Ramon being short. He is going to go for the induce. That's why he is the pro on the final table. We are the commentator in the box. But now Sully Mess getting a price. Can defend here. 4-1. Probably going to tread a little cautiously, given that he's facing an open from a shorter stack who should have a tighter range. But certainly going to be taking a flop for that price with a hand as good as Jack King offsuit. Thank you, Sully. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Ooh, interesting. Puts the lead out there. Justice Peanut, this is just has to be a shove, right? What else can you do? Yeah. If Sully has an 8, we have the best hand with 10s. If Sully's just trying to push us around, he's still got outs. We got to protect. Worked out here for Justice Peanut. Sully making that lead. I'm guessing to just get the ace X's of the world to fold. Ace queens, ace jacks that didn't get a piece. Because it's hard for you to, shove if you're Justice Peanut and you don't have a pair there, right? It's hard if you just have ace high. So, I'm intrigued by the play. Betting out on that low board where, Sully Mess is going to have more 8s and 6s than Justice Peanut has. So, unless he has a pocket pair, the play could work. All right, see, open from Leveo. And again, keep an eye on Niffler. Ace Jack, good looking hand. If it folded to her, easy shove. Facing an under the gun open though? Does she want to play it, or is she just going to muck this? Good note, chat. If it were late position, cut off open, she's got ace jack on the button, all in all day. Versus an under the gun open, even from one of the bigger stacks, the chip leader in the tournament, who may be a little looser, still folding the ace jack because it's just not worth taking the variance. Well, these pay jumps are so big. Justice flops an open ender. Leveo flops an over pair. I think it's a good spot for a larger size bet. So the board can hit Justice Peanut more than it hits Leveo, but it's a very connected board. A lot of bad cards that could come off. So I think a larger bet offers more protection for Leveo's hand than a small bet. We'll see Justice continue here. Question is how. Probably just a check call. And this is going to get really dicey. Now turning top pair. Still behind over pairs, but not going to be able to fold to another bet here, I don't think. Pair and open ender, that's a ton of outs. Think, how many outs can they make the best hand with? They can make the best hand with 4 9s. They can make the best hand with 4 4s, that's 8. 2 10s, that's 10. 3 6s even, you don't know it for sure, but 3 6s even. That's 13 outs. That's a lot of outs. So they could call up to 5 big blinds just based on pot odds alone, not even including implieds. And I mean, if you're Leveo, you really want to protect your hand here with all these outs possible. I wouldn't be surprised if we even see an overbet here for just maximum protection on the boards that are super draw heavy like this. Sometimes you just want to slam it in. Make sure that 10-9, or in this case 10-6, pays the full price to try to outdraw. So we do see a chunky bet. Super awkward spot for Justice Peanut. Getting the right price. Just about the right price to be able to continue, but it is for almost half their chips. 15 mil out of 20 mil. So the question is, will they choose to fold to protect their stack, or will they call because they just have the type of hand the price is right? They are going to call, and I think if we see a fold here, this is what separates the boys from the men, is being able to make these laydowns. It's going to be tough though. Leveo having a ton of over pairs here. Flush draws do miss though. Tough spot for Justice Peanut. Assuming we see a shove, of course. Which I don't see why we wouldn't. Yeah, sometimes your opponent has a 7, but not very often. If they have a 7 and you blast a turn like that, it's only 7-6. that didn't already have you beat, you know, and 7-8 probably would have check raised all in. So not too many 7s, but a bunch of 10x, 10-9, 10-6, maybe some 8s that might hero call. So great bet from Laveo here, just assessing the situation. And there it is, man. Great fold from Justice Peanut. Took the price, took the math. You don't like to fold, you know, after having put in whatever it was, 2/3 of his chips in, but he played the math correctly throughout that hand. And also is probably assuming that if Laveo didn't have an overpair, Laveo was semi-bluffing, that he may give up on the river. So his 10's going to be able to win at showdown when it is the best hand. Very cool hand. Could he have avoided it all by just folding pre-flop and not playing the 10-6 suited? Yeah. The price was right. And when you're playing a tough field, you get the right price, you're supposed to play on. Take a little variance, take a little gamble. That's why we play poker tournaments, right? For the rush, for the gamble. Take some chances. Laveo, a couple backdoor draws here. Could potentially go for a check raise. I'm a big fan of it, especially on these high card, low card boards where your opponent is going to be betting their entire range but has missed a lot. Check raises are going to be very effective. You're going to see them work very often. And just having a couple backdoor draws often enough to get the job done, you know, running 9-10, running 5-4 would do it. Interesting min raise from 5s. I'm not a fan of this. Sully Mess, easy 3-bet here. Probably make it about 6. Yep, there it is, 6 big blinds. Everyone else going to fold. Hollow Man, I don't know what he's going to do. He's just got to fold. So here's the thing with 5s in that spot. You don't have good blockers, right? You having 2 5s doesn't decrease the chance that anyone has ace, king, ace, queen, king, queen suited, all those hands that, you know, play well. Ace, jack. And if someone calls, you go post flop. 5's pretty hard hand to play. So I think it's one of those spots where you could just open muck the 5s, not play them. But if you had a shorter stack, it's kind of a spot where you want to play 5s as a shove if you're going to play it. And if you have too many big blinds to shove your 5s, easy shove here for king 10 suited, by the way. If you have too many big blinds to shove your 5s, you should probably just fold them because you're raising into the full field with no blockers. And you're going to run into hands a fair bit. Sully Mess picked up ace king at the right time. Takes the 3-bet. Nice chip up, you know. 4.34 BBs. That's 11 million chips. 10s, easy raise. So Justice Peanut, man, awkward spot. Not a great hand. 6-8 suited. But here's the thing. 4 bigs in the middle. He puts in 1 to win 5. It's really good odds. If he folds here, then he can double up to what? 12 million? 14 million? If he takes this hand, he can get 15 plus another 10, 25. So I don't know. Razor Ramon's not as short as he was anymore. So maybe we see Justice flick it in for 1. He doesn't shove though. He calls. Now that he has a pair, he has to go with it. Because even if he's behind, right? He's putting in 5 million to play for 25 million. And with a 5 outer, he has 20%. So again, the math is right. You may say, oh, but ICM, what about laddering this, that? He's in last place. So he needs to more figure out how he can get back in the game than how he can outlast someone else. So unlucky to... Oh, whoa. And there's that 20% coming through. Justice Peanut finding the double up with 6-8. Now another good open for Jack 10 suited. All right, nice flop. Samler. A little bit vulnerable, though. I like a big bet here. Queen, scary. King, scary. Ace is scary. Hearts, not great. 9, 8, 7. A lot of not great cards. Laveo thinking about getting frisky with just a gutter. Straight blocker. Don't think it's going to work out for him if he does. Goes for the call. I think Samler's just got to keep pedal to the metal here. Keep the pressure going. You're not going to be up against ace, jack, ace 10 all that often. I think those hands are usually 3-betting. King, queen, maybe sometimes. But given, you know what, given that we just saw Laveo just like slam it with ace 2 suited, I think he's probably slamming it with king, queen, ace, jack, ace 10. So Samler should have the best hand almost always. Little surprised by the turn check, but with the super short stacks and him being in 3rd place, I get it. He's wanting to take a lower variance approach, guaranteeing he can just get this hand to showdown, not being forced to potentially face a check raise all in on the turn and be like, well, this sucks. Easy call here now. Well, not easy, but calling bottom 2. Takes it down. Nice chip up to 2nd place. Laveo overextended himself a little bit there. Razor Ramon waits for, like, I mean, this just sucks. You got ace 3. You're getting called in all the spots? Yeah. I think Razor Ramon was a little too nitty for the all-ins. And as a result, he just blinded himself down and just kind of signed his fate. Sometimes we get too focused on trying to get that one pay jump and you don't really consider the fact that you're so short relative to the other stacks and the fact that you're the one who's most likely going to go out next. Sometimes you focus on that bottom of the leaderboard, trying to move up one, and you just end up staying on the bottom of the leaderboard. So still a nice score, almost 100 buy-ins. Almost 100 buy-ins for our man Razor Ramon, taking home $24,382. Remaining players all guaranteed 35k, and it's going to be interesting. We're going to see the 7-3 open. No. Niffler, yeah, takes the a6 because she knows if she doesn't, the blinds go through her, she's done. She's protecting her fold equity. Razor Ramon wasn't protecting his fold equity. Niffler understands. She gets too short, there's no fold equity. It's game over. And she's not going to be able to just outlast the other one. She can't just pray that they're going to get knocked out. She's got to do what she can to tread water, chip up a little bit so as to keep the pressure on the other two short stacks. If they're all just folding, they're all just going to bleed down and there's no extra pressure. So I like the shove there by Niffler. Not loving a hand like a6, but realizing, it's probably the best hand four-handed and I need these chips. She also shoved into a shorter stack, which was a nice play. All right, Samler takes down top set. No reason to try to get overly fancy there, especially when we've seen Leveo is willing to float with some lighter hands. So correct assessment there by Samler wanting to build up the pot. Justice Peanut takes the shove. Hollow Man has the price is just too good. Does he want to call a quarter of his chips with queen high? No. But it's only, he's putting in, what was he putting in? I wish I could go back. I can. Okay. Let's just look at the price here. 5 million to play for 16. He only needs 25% chance of winning. He's got that. It's a third of his stack. Yeah, that sucks. But if he wins the all-in, he knocks out one of the other players. He gets the $10,000 pay jump. He's now ahead of Niffler. He puts himself in a really good position. If he folds, he has 4.75 big blinds. If he calls and loses, he has 3.75 big blinds, and his position in the field is pretty much the same. So the downside compared to folding is minimal, but the upside of winning is quite significant, both in terms of getting a pay jump, taking off a little ICM pressure, and getting out of last place and getting into second last place as opposed to being tied for last. Also happens to have his opponent dominate, which is nice. Just needs to fade a 9. Justice Peanut, hoping queen 9 was best, hoping if not that it was live, and also just recognize, if not now, when. The antes were going to chop him. He's shoving into a short stack. He basically had to go all in one of these next two hands. And I think the play was totally fine. Just unlucky to run into a dominating hand. Justice Peanut going to be our 6th place finisher, taking home $35,000 US. We're down to the final 5. Everyone guaranteed 45.5K. And ooh. All right. Wait, Niffler got a double. I really want to see if we can get that hand. Okay, good. Nice. We got the hand. Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. Samler is going to... Wait, how do we... Leveo? Does Leveo just shove here? See, okay, now it's a little different because there isn't a 1.5 big blind stack, and they've gotten more of the pay jump. I know it's a 20k difference now between 5th and 4th, but there's a little less pressure because they've secured the extra. Vanessa knows ace jack's way too strong to fold to this person who's playing any hand. Great call by Vanessa. Finds the double. 50 million. Do you want to become the shark in your local poker game? Then come join me and the team at Poker Coaching Premium for free. For 3 days, you can get full access, and I mean full access, to Poker Coaching Premium by visiting pokercoaching.org or using the link in the video description. When you join, you'll get access to over $500,000 worth of training material from world-class pros, including me, with over 56 million in combined earnings. You'll get masterclass access, interactive quizzes, GTO charts, solver and high stakes exploits, and webinars on everything you need to know to win at poker. Poker Coaching Premium offers over 1,600 interactive hand quizzes, over 600 video classes, and 2 complete master classes on tournaments and cash games. And you can access all of them completely free for 3 days by visiting pokercoaching.org or using the link in the video description. Let's get stacking. Now this is interesting. Hollow Man shoving king 3. I mean, I understand they're short-handed, doesn't want the blinds to come through. It kind of feels like a lot of chips to shove with king 3 though. Not even suited. It's kind of a weak hand. Don't know if Vanessa calls with ace 9. This will be interesting because she's ahead of the shoving range for sure. It represents 2/3 of her chips, which is bad, but also because she's potentially eliminating the short stack, it's not like, and she could have the best hand. Like it's easier to call when you can knock out the person who's keeping ICM pressure in play, because by this guy being in the tournament with the shorter stack, there's ICM pressure on her as a second short. But if she takes him out and there is no shorter stack than her, she can play a little more freely. So I wonder if she might make a call. It represents a lot of her chips, but she is ahead of the shoving range. Yeah, and there's no like 4 big blind stack, whatever. This is a very interesting spot. Very curious to see what she'll do. And you can see she's giving it a good think. Does decide to fold. Maintaining 4th place instead of dropping to 5th place. But very interesting spot. This could be it. Okay. Hollow Man should be shoving ace 4 suited here. Samler, easy call with 10s. Oh! The pain. And you know what they say? 30% of the time. It works every time. Suited aces, baby. 30% of the time, it works every time. Like there is from Sully. We'll see what Leveo does. Imagine they're going to get involved. Question is how? Jack 10 suited. Nice hand to take a flop with in position on the button. Vanessa with the nut flush draw in diamonds. Pre-flop decides to call. Interesting spot, man. Sully messed with the combo draw. Bet makes sense. Only hands really continuing Jack 10, King X's, King Queens. If faced with the raise, it's an awkward spot. But we probably just call and take a turn. Now, this is tough. Because Leveo is going to have a lot of King Queen. A lot of King X. And it's tough to bet into that. But at the same time, you have Jack high. You want to keep the pressure on. Try to be able to take this pot down if possible. The worst outcome would be betting and getting shoved on. Which is why checking to check call has some merit. Checking. If you think your opponent floats a lot, you could check raise all in, but it's kind of high variance. But also maintaining the betting lead to... I mean, you're only really putting pressure on this exact hand, but maintaining the betting lead for that reason has some merit too. I think if we're betting, we're doing like half pot. The check makes a lot of sense. We don't want to bet and get shoved off our hand. And we can check call almost any size bet. Don't love it, but we do have a lot of outs to improve to what is almost certainly going to be the best hand. Thinking about turning the hand into a bluff. Does not. Who wants it? Who wants it? You got, I mean, I guess King Jack, King 10 could check. You got to think King Queen's going to bet. So it's tempting to bet here. The question is, what are we representing when we bet again? I don't know. I don't know what hand we're going check bet with. Maybe a mediocre king. So I think Sully Mess is going to get this through. I like the bet. Doesn't need to risk a lot. 1/3 of the pot. Really nice sizing there. Assumes Leveo's probably going to bet with the kings or better on the turn. Occasionally, I guess you're going to run into... Are you even going to run an ace queen? No, ace queen with a 3-bet pre. Occasionally, you might run into queen jack suited or something. But it still puts them in a spot. I like the play. Nice bet, Sully. Overtakes the chip lead. Overtakes chip lead. Really unfortunate spot for Vanessa. I think on 12 bigs, blind versus blind, this a6 is probably just going to go away all in. It's going to be an easy call for Sully Mess. And it's just like a little bit too good and a little too awkward to play post. Yeah, she shoves. Sully's calling. Top sits. Oh my God, Vanessa. Oh, whoa! What a freaking run out, man. Gets dealt the ace. Feels like it's the nuts. Gotta shove. Snap calls the king. It's the nuts. Gotta call. Flops top sizzle. Turns the strizzle. And rivers the full hizzle. Jizzle, jizzle. Jizzle, jizzle, Vanessa. That hand had all kinds of suck all over it. That was crazy. All kinds of cooler, all kind of suck. Ice cold. Ice cold. Nice hand, Sully. Let's see what he does with these chips. Whoa, what happened here? What was this? I'm just curious. You call a raise and then just shove? Okay. If your opponent doesn't have a jack, they're gonna fold. You're unlikely to be outflopped. I get it. Seems like high risk though. Seems like you could just go for. Did you misclick? Did you mean to do 4 bigs and you did 40 bigs accidentally? I feel like that might have been what happened there. Just trying to lead out for 4. All right, Leveo with aces should see a raise, and we should see a defend from Sully Mess here. No love on the flop. Check bet fold unless, I mean, Sully doesn't really need to get frisky. If there was a heart, I guess he could get a little frisky with some double backdoor action, but it's just got dust. Leveo induces with the check back. Sully falls into the trap. He's going to go back call. Is he going to follow through on another one? He can get diamonds to fold. That's it. He thinks better of it. He knows what's going on. He knows the score. He finds the check button. Can't fault him for betting once. That being said, Leveo's probably betting most of his air on the flop. And when he checks back, probably usually has some kind of showdown value as he has here. So I don't think the turn bet's going to be working that often, really. I think anything that would fold to a turn bet's probably just going to bet the flop. Wow, doesn't even go for thin value on the river with aces. All right, Leveo with the raise. So we're going to see Sully Mess widen his defending range a little bit because of the fact that he has the chip lead over the other players. He has a chip lead over the other players. There's no super short stack in play, but they still kind of want to maintain relative to each other. And therefore, Sully Mess can defend a bit more because he's going to be able to take away more pots post-flop by having that big stack pressure. By using that chip lead over second place kind of pressure, he's going to be able to get a lot more folds from his opponents because they don't want to lose position to each other in terms of ranking. And so he wants to see a few more flops so that he can take some away. Unfortunate run out for him here. If he goes for a second barrel, it's not going to work. His opponent didn't have a 7 though. Probably would work. And I don't mind this bet because a 9 is not liking it. An 8 is not liking it. A 6 would have bet earlier. So the flush draws missed. As long as his opponent doesn't have a 7, pretty much. This bet's probably working. So I don't mind it. Figures the 5 doesn't really have much showdown value. Looking to get an 8 or a 9 to fold. We know Leveo, well, we assume Leveo is going to call here with a straight. No real reason to raise, but I like the heart, man. I like the heart, man. As we said, Sully ain't he's ready to roll. Same spot for Holloman as before. This hand's a little bit stronger than King Jack suited. He's got a few less chips. Shoving is totally fine. Big chip up here. Very likely to have the best hand. That's what he does. Sully can't call here. Sully calls? Whoa. I'm surprised by this call. Let's run it back. Let's look at the numbers. So we're going to do the math. Add in the extra you have to call. 13.87 to the pot. 32.74. Then you divide by the amount you're calling. So 32.74. You need 42% equity with King 9. I mean, it's going to be pretty hard. Like, how wide does our opponent have to be? If we give our opponent 10%, 10%, do we have 40? No. If we give our opponent 15%, do we have 40? No. If we give our opponent 20%, do we have 40? Barely. So basically, we need our opponent to have about 25% shoving range for it to be break even, not including ICM. What does this range look like? All suited aces, ace 8 down 7, all broadways, all pairs, all suited 8s. Yeah, I don't think our opponent's going to shove this wide, especially when we saw him flat with King Jack. He's probably just going to call a lot of these hands. This call is definitely on the loose side. And it's also for half of our stack, which could really cripple us, right? We call and lose, we're in last. We fold, we're still in second. We call and win, we do have the chip lead, but I feel like the risk reward is not in our favor here. So I would have expected a fold, but we got the call. My man hits the spades he needed, picks up the 130 million chip pot, takes out Hollow Man in fourth for $63,750.20, and now has locked up a whole lot of money. Oh, here we go. It's pretty rare that you're going to get to play for this much money. It's pretty rare you're going to be on a $30,000 page up in any tournament. That they don't want to mess around. They really want to play most serious. Should see a raise here from Leveo to 2 big blinds. Sully Mess easy 3-bet here to 6 big blinds. Then the question is Leveo going to say, I think this guy's full of it. I'm all in with my blocker. Because if he is, Sully's not going to like it, but he's probably going to find the call button. Leveo, this is a pretty good hand. He's 2-suited. 3-handed? Probably doesn't want to fold it. But what do you do? It's just so awkward. The troubles of running it up against a big stack. Could call, play in position. If he 4-bets, he's definitely got fold equity. There'd be 15 in the middle. He'd put 25. There'd be 40 in. Sully's not getting 2-1. We know he's got a strong enough hand that he's calling. But if he's 3-bet bluffing some king 10, queen jack, ace 5 off kind of stuff, he'd probably fold to a shove. He'd definitely fold to a shove. All right, Leveo giving it a real big think here. He does do the shove. And I think Sully Mess hates it, but will find the call. You don't like it. You don't like it, man. 30 big blinds, playing for all the chips. You're like, fuck, he's going to have ace king a bunch. Going to be flipping a bunch. But the price is there. He's already got 6 bigs committed. It's 24. He needs, 40% equity or so. Ace queen suited, a very premium hand. You're going to be up against jacks, 10s, 9s, 8s, a ton. Some ace jack suited. Maybe even some ace 10 suited, although that might call. And then, of course, ace 2 through ace 5 suited. So I think Sully does find the call. Great run out. Boom. 250 million. Just like that. Tough spot for Leveo. I'd be curious to see what ICMizer and Solver says. 'Cause it's just like, if the guy's 3-bet bluffing, you don't want to let him have that. But that being said, we didn't really see Sully messing around too much with 3-bet bluff. So that may have been an over adjustment, or making a GTO play, assuming a GTO 3-better, and I just don't think Sully Mess was doing that. So great hand for Sully Mess. Found the call. Probably didn't love it, but makes the correct call. Ace queen suited, holds in the all-in, and that was a $33,000 win. Plus, he's put himself in position to win this tournament. So our third place finisher, Leveo, taking home $90,777. So much money. So amazing. And Samler and Sully Mess both guaranteed $123K. And they're going to be playing for a $43,000 heads up match. Sully Match is open to do business. Sully Mess open to do business. Samler doesn't care. Not into it. Whatever. Well, you get Frisky with the 3-deuce suited. Does Samler with the call. Both catching a pair here. Does go for the bet for protection. This is interesting. If you're Samler, I feel like when you're this shallow and you're going to have a pot size bet on the turn, you're probably not folding to a second bet anyway. It might make sense to just check raise all in and protect your hand. If they got a jack, they got a jack. If they don't let them out dry. I like the shove there by Samler. It makes a lot of sense. Samler clawing back down to a 3-1 chip deficit. Ooh, going for the trap with ace king. No customer. Oh, whoa. It does work out. Sully Mess, assuming Samler would raise all his aces. Well, he didn't raise this one. And now Samler getting the value. Just calls. I like the just call. He's giving Sully Mess an opportunity to keep semi-bluffing with a flush draw, a pair of 8s, a pair of 5s. A worse ace is going to keep betting. They'll get all the money on the turn. There's no reason for Samler to re-raise the flop and knock Sully Mess off all his bluffs. He's got him where he wants him. He just needs to hope that he follows through. And I mean, this could be it. Yeah. No, I don't see any way Samler's raise folding ace 9 And from the way Sully Mess has been playing, just wanting to get this game over with, shoving over and open with a7 makes sense. Pretty strong hand, heads up. See what happens. Sandler's got to find the call here. This is just such a good hand, heads up. You're going to be up against all the pairs, some Broadway. You just got to call. Looks like it may be a chop. Yeah. Okay. Sully Mess catching a little bit of luck there. I like a lot of these lead outs that Sully Mess is making. He's knowing that the average hand misses a random flop more often than it hits it. And so he's just like, if he doesn't have it, I'm taking this pot. If he does, fine. I've made a small risk. I like that he's just leading out, taking down a lot of pots, and just like that, man, he's once again got it at like a 5-1 chip advantage. Obviously, chop with the ace-7 versus ace-9 was super, super clutch. Let's run this one back to the beginning. But, you know, he's chipped him down again. And he's just going for the win. Think the overbet shove, unnecessary. I think you get the same results by betting like 1.5 big blinds. But I get it. He wants full protection for his hand. He's just like, if you don't have a queen, I'm ending this pot. And he clearly just wants to end the game. So he's going for the kill by forcing his opponent to play all in pots if he does continue. So I get it. Raise a call. Continuation bet from Sully should take it down. He decides to check back, seeing as there are a lot of good turn cards for him, including this one. Doesn't want to get check raised off his hand when he has 2 overcards, backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw. Makes sense. Should see a walk here. Quite the battle we've got going on. We'll see a shove with ace-4. Yep. Here, this is familiar. Top pair 10 against the gut shot and the flush draw. All right. I mean, you got to think Samler's raising this one. Sully's done enough leading that Samler doesn't have to assume it's top pair. So I think we see a raise. It's a jam, and Sully certainly calling with top pair. He's got the best of it. Just needs to fade a 4 and a heart, and if he does, he's going to be our $1 million Sunday champion, taking home $167,824.50. Well played game by Sully Mess. He was willing to take some variance, willing to take some spots. Fortunately, it worked out for him when he did. King 9 suited was a little bit like whoa, but other than that, I was pretty all around impressed with the man's play. A deserving champion, $1 million Sunday, and $167,000 to the Shark Scope. He's in the chat. Let's get a round of applause and congratulations for Sully Mess. Came back to watch the review. Hope you enjoyed the review, Sully, along with everybody else in chat. Always a great time. Congratulations, Samler777, taking home second place for $123,495.50. Great tourney all around. And for anyone interested in playing $1 Million Sunday, it's available in the lobby. $265 buy-in. Flights running around the clock every day of the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's a flight even going right now. Saw last week we had 4,200 players. Currently we have 356. It'll probably be about the same. If 265 is outside your bankroll, don't worry about it. Double click one of these games. You'll see that they have satellites running for $20, $10, and they have super satellites to these satellites ranging from $1 to $2. So many ways to qualify. Lots of megas with 10 tickets guaranteed. Really good value event. Really nice structure event. And as you can see, an event with some incredibly juicy prizes. And yeah, you're going to get some Sharky play, but it's not all Sharky play. It's not like you're playing a 1K high roller where everyone is a 99.99 on Shark Scope. So it's definitely something it's worth looking into, worth aspiring to. One of my goals for the year is to final table $1 Million Sunday at some point. 6 months remaining. We'll see if we make it. Hopefully we do. Hey, it's Evan Jarvis, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned a thing or two that will help you in your poker game. If you want to try what you learned and apply your skills with our community, feel free to join me every Friday for the $250 added Free Money Friday free buy on America's Cardroom, which is free to enter with $1 rebuys, and I stream on twitch.tv/Gripst. Or join me on Sundays for the $5 Grips Final Table Experience home game, which has a 1 million starting stack and a 420 guaranteed prize pool. I'm running a giveaway for 10 free entries to people who comment on this video. So let me know your favorite hand and your ACR username in the comments, and maybe you can free roll the Final Table Experience. Thanks again for watching. This has been Evan Jarvis saying, until next time, you know what to do. Take what you learned, go out there, and get stacking. Peace.